What's going on, trainers? My name's Daniel, or PokeDanny, and this is my first ever Pokemon Go YouTube video. Now, you're probably thinking, why start now? It's 2025. This game is, not the most popular it's ever been. Well, over the past 6 months, I've been really getting back into the game after taking a little bit of a hiatus, and this past weekend was the most insane weekend I've ever experienced in this game, and I just had to share my experience with the Go Fest Max finale. So, that being said, let's get right into it. This is my first ever YouTube video, so if you enjoy it, have any feedback, or would like to see any more, please leave a comment, maybe even a like if you're feeling generous, and let's get right into it. So, this weekend, I flew on up to New York City to spend Go Fest Max Finale there, as well as to attend another exclusive Pokemon Go event, which I'll address at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. As you probably know, the Max Finale event was, centered around max battles, as in the name Max Finale. So we did a ton of Dynamax, well, not really a ton of Dynamax, a ton of Giganamax, and a ton of Eternatus max battles. That's a mouthful. Anyways, so we did a ton of those, and as you may also know, the rewards as far as XP, Stardust, Rare XL candies for these events and for these battles is incredibly high. And so we were able to gain a lot of XP, a lot of Stardust, as you probably could tell by the title. So, I just want to share my numbers with you. My experience with the weekend as a whole might be a little skewed because I was in New York City and I wasn't playing rurally as some people might have been. It was definitely a struggle, so let's get into it. Alright, so the event for me started, it kind of started when I flew to New York on Friday pretty early in the morning. So I got to New York and mainly had a chill day on Long Island, walked around, did some catching, some just normal Pokemon Go stuff. But in the evening, I went and got into the remote raids. So I was remote raiding some Giganamax battles and some Eternatus battles. Now, I will say this was the most expensive part of my trip because remote raid passes and max particles starts to add up quick. So I burned through a ton of coins that night, and I realized that I was going to need to do as many in person as I possibly could to save money and to be able to make my coins stretch further. So that wasn't going to be that difficult because the next 2 days I spent in Central Park, in Times Square, in some of the best places to play Pokemon Go. So it was very easy for lobbies to fill up. I was trying to invite as many people on my friends list as possible, but the lobbies were just filling up so fast. It was absolutely crazy. So let's get into the numbers. I know that's what you're here for. I know that's what you're dying to see. So let's go ahead, and we're already in the game. Let's take a look at Eternatus. Now, as you can tell, it is not fully maxed up. Waiting to record this video to do it. So without further ado, let's max this guy out. The most expensive Pokemon to max out. I still have 2,000 XLs left over, if that tells you anything. So, my strategy for Eternatus was to do as many battles as I could until I got to about 10,000 candy, and then I was going to call the quits. And after every single battle, I was doubling my rewards. So I was getting about 100 XLs per raid. And so, mathematically, and I had about 13 or 14,000 XLs before I already maxed out all the moves. As you can see here, they're already all maxed out. So, and I do have almost 13,000 regular candies left over. So, I'm always going to be able to use that. Let's go ahead and add a new attack as well. So, now he is fully maxed out. Let's go. So, I'm going to be able to use this adventure effect as much as I want because I have tons of candy left over, even though it is 30 per 10 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 30 per 10 minutes. I got that. Got that covered for a while. But as you can see, I ended up with about 13 to 14,000 before I went ahead and maxed all this other stuff out. So, mathematically, that means I did about 120, 130, maybe even up to 140 Eternatus battles. and I was doubling the rewards every single time. I also had lucky eggs, and I also had star pieces flowing the entire time to maximize the value I was getting from these very expensive raids. So, that being said, that is all of the Eternatus raids I did, and a lot of people continue doing the Eternatus raids because they wanted as much XP as possible, and you were getting double the XP from Eternatus, or Eternatus, I keep alternating how I say it because I'm not really sure, as many of those as they could possibly do to maximize the value. However, after I really maxed out got to what I needed to max out my Eternatus, then I moved on to Gigantamaxes, because I had a few that I didn't have yet, and I also wanted to get as many shiny Gigantamaxes as possible, and even potentially a hundo if I could get that lucky. So, next up, let's take a look at the Gigantamaxes. Okay, so I've gone ahead and filtered for Gigantamaxes ages 0 days to 5 days. I haven't done any Gigantamax battles. Well, there hasn't been any Gigantamax battles since the event, so this is really a fair representation of all the Gigantamax battles I did during this event. Now, there might have been 1 or 2 that got away from me. I can't really remember if that happened. I also did trade 1 away, I know for sure. So, give or take around 135 to 140 Gigantamax battles, not including the Eternatus battles. That is an insane amount of battles. It was a very expensive weekend. I'll get into that at the end of the video, so stick around for that as well. So, as you can see, there is 135 Gigantamax Pokemon in my inventory from the past 5 days, really just the weekend. So, that being said, I did get at least 1 of every single Gigantamax, which was one of my main goals. I really wanted a shiny of everyone. Let's see how I did there. Let's just go ahead and filter for shiny. So, as you can see, we have 9 Gigantamax shinies from just this event. Now, going into it, I had a Butterfree, I had 2 Laprases. I'm honestly not sure. I didn't really have many, so this was a big deal for me. I also actually got 10 because the one I said that I traded away was a shiny Butterfree. I'll show you what I got for that in a minute. It was pretty cool. So 2 of these Blastoises both have the backgrounds. None of my other shinies did get the background. As you can see, I've got this one marked off for a trade with a buddy. So that one's locked off. I had a really good luck, as you can see, with the Charizards. 4 shiny Gigantamax Charizards. This, however, was one of my favorites that I got. This shiny Gigantamax Gengar. I rated hard for this one. If I take away this and I add in Gengar, we had 23. So, I mean, that's not that hard, but 23, and I got one. How long it took to get my shiny. So, got my shiny there, got the Machamp, got the Venusaur, 2 Blastoises with the background, and 4 Charizards, and a Butterfree that I traded away. So, that's pretty good. Well, let's go ahead and add, and 4 stars. We got 1 hundo, guys. We got 1 hundo Blastoise, no background, but that's okay. As you can see, caught around New York. That was honestly, just being in the atmosphere of New York City playing this game was amazing, and every single Pokemon I caught, aside from the remote raids, was captured in New York City. Absolutely amazing. I'll put some pictures at the end of the video of my trip, just so you guys know I was actually in New York City, having a great time, seeing Lady Liberty, the Empire State Building, and lots of Pokemon. So, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall numbers between day 1 and after the event, because I took some screenshots. I've gained quite a bit of XP since I've been home, so let's take a little gander at what the progress was during the event. Real quick, before we get into it, I did catch a lot of these guys in my time in New York, so if I know you in person or you live in the Knoxville, Tennessee area, hit me up. I've got plenty of these guys to share if you need one. This is, if you don't know, Buffalont is the New York City area exclusive wild spawn. So, got plenty of him to share. Okay, so as you can see, this was taken on Friday at 4:04 p.m. So right before I started my raids, my remote raids on Friday evening, because as you know, the event starts earlier in Australia, New Zealand area, Japan. Those people were all sending me remote invites, and so I got a little bit done. So as you can see, 104 million XP, sitting at level 46, 31,431 Pokemon caught. Really nothing too crazy. Started the game in 2016. Have taken a lot of breaks since then. But 104 million XP going into this. That's really not that much. A lot of people have a lot more XP than me. But, you know, took a lot of breaks. So give me some credit. 104 million. We'll get to the next numbers in a minute. Took a screenshot of this Lapras. And you may have already noticed from the previous showing of the Gigantamax is where my Stardust is. But before the event, about 9.5 million Stardust, which is a decent amount of Stardust. I don't power up Pokemon too often. So let's take a look at the current numbers. Alright, so immediately there's a big difference here. 143 million XP. Now, I will say I've gotten maybe 2 or 3 million XP since I've been home. I haven't been playing all that much, but I think it was around 140 million XP at the very end of this event. So that's about 36 million XP in just about 2 or 3 days. Absolutely insane. And you can see the Pokemon caught really didn't go up that much. Let's see, what was it before? It was... okay, so 31,000. So I caught around 4,000 Pokemon in about 4 days. I mean, the wild spawns were very, very dense, and I always had my Pokemon Go Plus going in the background. So I did catch quite a few Pokemon as well. Got some shinies to show you, some cool stuff there as well. But the main thing is the 143, and now let's take a look at the Stardust. 23 million Stardust. Now I will tell you, this has not changed at all since the end of the event, because I have gained some, but I've also spent some. I just spent some maxing out the Eternatus. I had about 23 million XP, so if you do the math, from 9 million to 23, that's about 14 million Stardust, which is absolutely insane. I mean, it took me months to get up to 9 million. Many months to get to 9 million, and then I more than double it in just a couple of days, guys. This is insane. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at just my other shinies I got from this trip. So, I don't want to reveal anything too crazy, so let's just do age 0, or no, age 3 through, age 3 through 5. Okay, guys, so I have filtered for shinies age 3 through 5. This should hit just the weekend. What did we get while we were in New York City? So, as you can see, Origin Form Dialga with Roar of Time, Origin Form Palkias without the Spatial Rend move. Now, these were from the timed research from the raid, so they don't really count. They were freebies. The real deal begins with these Charizards. As you can see, these were from my remote raids in New Zealand in that earlier time zone, but I was in Westbury. That's where I was staying on Long Island. This was also... okay, this was not a... okay, yeah, so this was the next day. This was the next morning on the 23rd that I caught this in person. So I only got one shiny from remote raiding that first time around. So then I got Charizard number 2, Charizard number 3. Guys, I probably did like 6 or 7 Charizard raids and got 3 shinies. My insane luck with the Charizards. It didn't carry over to all of them, but I do remember this Wooloo I caught in Central Park. This was my first ever shiny, wild shiny in New York City with the New York City catch card. Had a buddy with me in my party, and we caught it. Let's go. This was the first of many. Shiny Machamp with the background. This was also from a raid, obviously. Got the shiny Blastoise that also has the background. You can't see it because I just switched over. There it is. Shiny Costume Pikachu from the event. Got this in a raid. Man, I was having some pretty good luck. I'm not even going to lie with you. I hatched this Corsola shiny, which is a great shiny. Did not have it yet. shiny Gengar. I believe I was in the Lego store maybe when I caught this. I think so. I think I was in the Lego store in New York City in Times Square when I caught this. Mareep, this I just caught in the wild as well. I was wondering if it was a Go Plus, but I think I actually did catch this one. As you can see, it was in a Great Ball, so I didn't use my Go Plus. Normally, when things are caught in the Go Plus Plus, it's just a regular Pokeball. Venusaur, another Blastoise, Skullet. I believe this was from... No, this was just in the wild as well. I was thinking this might have been... Okay, it's not a Dynamax Pokemon, so it was not caught in the research. So yeah, this was another wild spawn for me. Chansey, this one was another wild spawn. I was having some good luck. I clicked on probably 150 Chanseys before I got this. I really wanted a Chansey shiny. I didn't have one, and I know it's a permanently boosted shiny. So here's that fourth Charizard, guys. Got a Squirtle just from the wild. Farfetch'd. I pulled this with the Go Plus on the train heading back to Long Island. And that is it for the shinies in New York City. However, I have one last shiny to show off. And this is by far the coolest... Oh, shiny and shiny. Okay. This is by far the coolest shiny that I got from this weekend. Shiny Mets game background Pikachu. Now, the story behind this is I was walking around Mets Field. We went to the game. I knew that this game was going to be Falling Go Fest, which is partly why we were in New York. And so we went to this beautiful game, and I had my wife's account, and I had my account, and I was walking around. I did, between the two, I did somewhere around 130, 140 Pikachu raids, and I got the shiny on her phone, and we had a lucky trade. That's where I gave her that shiny Giganamax Butterfree, and in return, I got the shiny Pikachu with the Mets background. Now, as you can tell, as you can see, if I do Pikachu and location background, I have a lot of Pikachu backgrounds to spare. I think I accidentally transferred some too. So, I mean, I still have 55 of them. So, guys, if you're in my area, I have plenty of these to share. Only got the one shiny, which I feel very lucky to have gotten. I'm not sure what the shiny odds on this are, but they're probably not 1 in 64. It's probably just a straight 1 in 512. I was playing with a lot of people at Met Stadium, and nobody else really got the shiny. I think there was 1 or 2 other people that pulled it. So, this is an extremely rare shiny. Probably my rarest Pokemon in my entire Pokedex. In my entire collection, I should say. Really, let's see. I think I caught this Nundo Wooloo. In a Nundo. This was actually a Meowth that I evolved into a Persian. Okay, so I caught these both recently. So I've had some Nundo luck recently, guys. But I caught the Wooloo. I think I already had that one, but I caught this one, as you can see, in New York, off the Go Plus, I believe, with that red Pokeball. So that was kind of cool. Other than that, guys, that's really about it. As far as my medals and my progress, I need one more Platinum Medal, guys. I was really slacking on the Platinum Medal, but when you get all this XP out of nowhere, it's like, it doesn't really work towards any Platinum Medals, so I'm kind of struggling on that. But I will say one Platinum Medal that I did finish while I was there was the Picnicker Medal, because there was so many players. I literally had maybe 1,100 catches towards this Picnicker Medal, and then I put down like as many lures as I could this weekend when I was in Central Park and Times Square, and I mean, this just piled up like crazy. So I platinumed that medal, and I also platinumed the Sightseer medal. Wow, 2,500, guys. I was at about 2,000, or no, I wasn't even at 2,000. I was about 1,500 unique Pokestops since 2016. But at New York, I knew I was going to be in Long Island, Brooklyn, Manhattan. I mean, I was in the Queens, the Bronx. I didn't go to the Bronx, but I went to all these different places. I knew I was going to get this, and it's 2,500 on the dot. Wow, I haven't even checked it. I just knew I got the platinum while I was there. But really, that's about it, guys. So, I will say my last takeaway from this video is, well, before I mention this, make sure to leave a like. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching, guys. This is my first Pokemon Go YouTube video. I do have ideas for I do have ideas for other videos, so if you'd like to see more, please leave a comment or a like. Just let me know you enjoy the video. But if you did make it this far into the video, now I'm sure you're wondering, how much did I spend on all of this weekend in Pokemon Go? Well, the answer to that is